Hey everyone, Harrison Diamond here with my dry fire focus. I've been hitting at this for a couple days, but I've actually made some changes to my equipment, specifically my mag pouches. Reloads are a big part of the USPSA game, so ever since last match, I've been working really hard to get used to my new equipment. This is going to be a three-part video. In part one, we're going to talk about what I'm changing and the reasons why I'm changing it, and what I hope to accomplish. Part two, coming tomorrow, is going to go over foundational drills that I use to build really solid mechanics around my reloads. And then part three, near the end of the week, is going to be focusing on moving while reloading. Then when my next match video comes out, if I had any reloads required during the stages, we'll see how I did under a pressure situation. Here's my old setup. I use these pouches to hold the magazines with the bullets running parallel to the belt. If you run your belt like this, you want to go with your bullets pointing forward to minimize the movement you need to do during the reload. Now there are four things I don't like about this setup that I'm addressing with these changes. Number one is the amount of space they take up on the belt. With the size of the pouch and the belt mount here, it takes a lot of space to fit that many pouches. Now I don't normally use all five when I shoot carry optics, but I shoot production as well with the same belt, so I prefer to have 5 pouches. Number two, in order to get 5 of these on the belt, I had to put one on the part of my belt that overlaps. This reduces the amount of Velcro in contact where the two ends of the outer belt meet. That's the spot that holds the belt closed, which causes me issues with the belt coming loose, especially when I had a loaded mag in that 5th pouch. This might be less of an issue for shooters who have a little more belt space than me, so they could fit an extra pouch or two here or there. But I've got a 32-inch waist, so there's only so much room on there. Number three, while these are very adjustable pouches, you can change the rotation, the mounting angle, ride height, retention, a lot of options. But where those adjustment screws are, they're really difficult to get at. I mean, some of them are way inside the pouch and you're using Allen keys through these holes in the faceplate. And even then, the design doesn't really lend itself much to repeatable adjustments. This is really problematic, especially when a screw works loose or if one of the pouches gets bumped around. And you can see here, I can turn it pretty easily. If it's in the trunk of your car on the way to a match, it can get jostled around and end up out of position. Number four requires a little inspection of my reload technique, which I need to do anyways, so I'll walk you through what my old style looks like in slow motion. My offhand goes down on my belt as I drop the mag from the gun. My goal is to hit the base pad of the intended magazine with my palm and get my index finger along that front edge of the magazine, which means that I am rotating my wrist, so from here to here. It's about 90 degrees for this first pouch. Then I'll pull the mag up out of the pouch as I bring the gun closer to my body, rotating my wrist with the mag back to orient it properly, insert firmly, and hand slides back into my shooting grip as I push the gun out. So that fourth thing I didn't like is the rotation to and from the mag pouch. And that rotation is a little different for each pouch, since the front edge of the mags don't all point in the same direction. It doesn't cause a problem every time, but when I do have a reload that isn't as smooth as I'd like, it's usually related.
So with that out of the way, here's my new setup. These are the Double Alpha Race Master pouches. I chose purple to match the rest of my gear, but they're available in a number of colors, and you can pick these up, of course, from the fine folks at Red Hill Tactical. They are configurable to fit all sorts of mags. There's tons of flexibility with mounting distance and angles. Really easy to access adjustment screws right here along the bottom. You have these dials to adjust retention that really hold mags way more securely than any other pouch I've used. And of course, that's an aluminum pouch body, so it's extremely durable. Flipping things around, notice how this belt attachment is much smaller and exposes a lot more of the Velcro on the belt compared with my previous mag pouches, which don't really expose a whole lot of the Velcro. And even the bit that they do, I mean, it's not like your inner belt's really gonna be able to make contact there with how deep these openings are. Now the Racemaster pouch comes from the factory setup for bullets forward carry, but that's not how I have them set up. I specifically chose these pouches because you can mount them with the bullets facing out at a 90-degree angle to the belt. Now that's obviously a pretty big change. I've been shooting bullets forward for almost 2 years. Why the switch to bullets out? This is very much about personal preference, and I have 2 specific reasons this works for me. First, by going bullets out, I save the most belt space possible. Now I've layered my 2 belts on top of one another. Now I've lined these up so that the front edge of the magazine pouches are in line. And you can see I get 5 full mag pouches in the space we get to about 3.5 of my old pouches. So that's a pretty significant space savings. And honestly, I have room to actually move these guys closer together if I really want to. That plus the better mounting system, that ensures that I have a better connection between the inner and outer belt, and it reduces the distance I have to get to reach those last few mags. So that should speed up my reloads on those pouches.
Second, while my grip on the mag doesn't change, it's still palm and index finger, the angle the mags are at means I can do this without the wrist rotation. Hand comes straight down to the mag and indexes. All that movement is now coming from my shoulder and a bit of elbow. Watch my hands as I go through these at slow speed. Now, even if I'm going to a pouch towards the back, I can keep my wrist in the same position. The shoulder movement adjusts instead. This should mean that over time, my reloads will become more consistent. Well, after this change, all 4 of the things I didn't like should now be resolved, and there's the potential for me to improve my speed and my consistency with my reloads. I'll see you back here for part 2, where I talk about the foundational drills. I'll also update this post with a link to that video once it's up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.